Hey guys, Tony here. Back again. It's been a while. I know I said I'd be back sooner if you watched my last video, but it is what it is, I suppose. I'll try and skip the preamble a little bit and just say that this is a video I wanted to make a while ago and just didn't get around to it. I attempted, it didn't work out, so I'm giving it another shot. So a lot of this stuff is, again, stuff I've had a while. I have a lot of stuff I want to show eventually. Um, yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, there's not a ton of surprises in here, um, but yeah, I mean everything, in my opinion, it still merits being shown. You know, there's definitely some good stuff. So without further ado, I'll get started here. I'm gonna start with reissues, some newer records, things like that. So, and I'll start with what I was just playing, and it's a reissue, Sun Ra and his Solar Orchestra with Secrets of the Sun. I want to say this probably was recorded or was released on Saturn around 1965, and this was after, I want to say after Sun Ra relocated to New York. But a really nice reissue, fantastic stuff. I mean, this is probably, the beginning of my favorite period of Sun Ra. Um, some of it's pretty straight ahead and some of it's pretty out there. Um, I believe at one point someone is singing through a conch shell. So just to give you an idea, I think that's only one track. But yeah, beautiful reissue. Love that cover. I mean, one thing about Sun Ra, the covers of his albums are just fantastic. So yeah, Solar Orchestra. I want to say it's like the beginning of that period, but yeah, excellent. And here's one of my favorite records from last year. I'm pretty sure I haven't shown this yet, but absolutely fantastic record. This guy's second solo album, and that's Shintaro Sakamoto with Let's Dance Raw, released last year on Other Music. Now he's a Japanese artist. He was in a band before he went solo. I forget their name. I want to say they were sort of a experimental psychedelic outfit. But since going solo, he's taking a lot of different genres, like sort of 60s genres, if you will, and sort of blending them together and making them completely unique. It's sung completely in Japanese, but that doesn't matter at all. This is still just catchy as hell. This record just gets under your skin, as does his first one, How to Live with a Phantom. I bought that record, his first album, just completely blind, knew absolutely nothing about it. It was in the store. I thought the cover looked interesting, and there wasn't anything else that was grabbing me at that moment, so I bought it. And at first, I was like, okay, sort of Japanese pop music, but with further listens, it sort of revealed itself more in a way. Like, there was a lot more going on to the record than first listen. And as is the same here, this is really catchy, a blend of sort of, I don't know, sort of loungy pop, exotica sort of stuff, just with maybe a Latin sort of tinge to it. Um, but yeah, just really good. And apparently the sound is very light, and it's deceptively light because a lot of the lyrics are pretty dark from what I understand. So I haven't looked up translations, but I just read that the lyrics are pretty dark. Like one song is called "Birth of a Super Cult," which is actually the second track on here, and it's a standout one for sure. But yeah, Shintaro Sakamoto, Let's Dance Raw, great cover from last year. On Other Music, check it out. And another one from last year, I believe, yeah, that I absolutely love, and that is the new Budo's band, Burnt Offering. This is the limited edition one. I didn't order it. It was just the one that Red Scroll had gotten in, and I picked it up pretty much when it came out. Fantastic sort of soul, funk, lots of horns, very funky, but with a sort of, I don't know, like dark rock metal edge to it in a way. Just the melodies, it's sort of a definitely rock feel to it. Probably more rockier than other stuff I've heard by them, but fantastic group. I believe these guys are all session players, American. I want to say they're American. Mostly session players. Now, the regular album, this is the cover here. I'm sorry, right here. But they just sort of reversed it for the limited edition one. I want to say it's on clear vinyl. It's been a little while since I played this now, but yeah. Marble, sort of gray vinyl. So, fantastic record. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. And again, if you see it in the store, probably it's going to have this cover, which is a fantastic cover in itself. Budo's band, Burnt Offering. And a 2015 album. I've shown other records by this artist, and that is Matima Roberts with her third chapter, Coin Chapter 3, River Run Thee. Now, she's planning, I think, on putting out 12 or 13 chapters in this Coin series. And I have the first two. This is the third. And I gotta say, it's probably my least favorite of the three. But it's definitely grown on me more with subsequent listens. It's essentially, it's very abstract, even for her. She definitely her other albums have more of free jazz leanings, but this is more drone. Essentially, it's a drone album, but with a lot of other things going on. I'm curious now what's going to come after this and how this will fit in. I'm very interested in this artist and what she does, and definitely looking forward to more. Excuse me. On Constellation, as were the other two. And yeah, check it out. Beautiful package, as always, with her stuff and Constellation. Matima Roberts. And an album. Oh, now this is a band I was very late to, unfortunately, but I guess better late than never because I am obsessed with this record. I played it a lot, and again, another one of those records that are just a blend of all these different genres, and this one is fantastic. Again, very abstract. The Heliocentrics with 13 Degrees of Reality. So yeah, what you have here is very abstract jazz funk with lots of psychedelic leanings, fuzz guitar, but it's still very avant-garde, but still very listenable. Again, absolutely in love with this record. They've put out a number of albums, a lot of collaborations with older sort of soul and jazz guys. And I've since buying this have picked up a few other of their albums, but this one is still the one for me. I absolutely love this album. It's on Now and Again. I want to say it's the second press. They repressed it, but yeah, do check this out if that sounds like your thing. Fantastic. Again, soul, jazz, funk, but with psych guitar. Yeah, just a great record. Check it out. All right, now some reissues. All of these next three are all from Lion Productions reissues. They reissue some great stuff. And this is Tarmagen. Look at that cover, huh? So yeah, early 70s, maybe early to mid 70s originally reissued. So what you have here is very atmospheric psych folk, sort of jazzy psych folk. Good stuff. Yeah, from Canada. I want to say this was a duo, essentially, and different members came and went. But it was produced by Paul Horn, who discovered these guys at the time. Paul Horn had the famous flautist, had relocated to Vancouver, and he's seen these guys play, was interested, and decided to produce them. And funny enough, this came out in Columbia in Canada. Columbia in the U.S. does not put out things like this. They didn't back in the day. But apparently in Canada, they release more interesting things. So, not that I have anything against Columbia, but stuff like this is, strange for Columbia when I learned that. But yeah, very, very good. Again, jazzy, atmospheric, psych folk, for lack of better terms. Lots of flute on here. Yeah, just some excellent stuff. Some sax, alto, tenor, 12-string guitar, acoustic bass, and recorder. I don't think it's a flute. I think it's a recorder. But anyway, Tarmagen. Here's another reissue of a private press. I'm sure you guys have seen all of these. So, Probe 10, There Is a Universe. So, yeah, sort of jazzy prog. Really damn good. When I first put it on, like the first time I listened to it, it opens with this vocal track, and it's very sort of, I don't know, very theatrical sort of vocals. You know, I don't want to say operatic, but very sort of theatrical. You know, and at first I was a little put off by that, but with subsequent listens, I've grown to. It definitely gets better after that track, but with subsequent listens, I've grown to really love the first track as well. The whole album is great. Probe 10, There Is a Universe. American band, I want to say from like South Carolina or somewhere like that. But yeah, check it out. Lion Productions. And here's a Chilean jazz funk record. Again, absolutely fantastic. I want to say Enrique Luna is the leader on this, but that's the band's Fusion, and the album is Top Soul. Again, it's very Miles Davis, Electric Miles influenced, Chilean jazz funk. Simple as that, really damn good. I got another one, also on Lion Productions, also Chilean. Enrique Luna is also involved with that one, but I didn't include it here. I really should have. But yeah, Top Soul by the band Fusion. And speaking of a band called Fusion, I have another one which I believe they're pronounced Fusion. Yeah, Fusion. Absolute Fusion. Spanish band. So, again, what you have here is a blend of prog and jazz funk. Probably more prog, like sort of spacey prog. So think Goblin crossed with the Stark Reality, you know? And that probably sums up their sound. Very funky, but very sort of spacey and proggy as well. And this is on Finders Keepers. Now, it's not a reissue of an album. It's a compilation of singles tracks and album tracks. I believe they put out three albums back in the day, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this has been out for a while, but still, it's on green vinyl. Fusion, excellent. Now, another reissue, and this one is on what label? It's Machu Picchu, and that is Jay Ryder. Now, if you knew the Machu Picchu album, Anonymous, is it Anonymous? Inside the Shadow. Yeah, so this album right here, sorry, that one right there. This is the same band, but they changed their name to Jay Ryder. And I really like the Anonymous album, and this one is probably maybe even a little bit better. Just sort of folk rock, you know, maybe with some psych tinges, but really well done, well crafted songs. Just really, it's catchy, just like Anonymous, you know. Definitely highly recommend it. Check it out. Yeah, I'm No Longer Anonymous. That's the name of the album, Jay Ryder. And I want to say this was not issued back in the day. This was supposed to be the follow-up to Inside the Shadow. Recorded in 1977, but wasn't released until later. I want to say maybe like the 90s. Yeah, 96. But yeah, on Machu Picchu. Jay Ryder. No Longer Anonymous. Check it out. Jumping from that to Aphex Twin. So his newest release is technically an EP, but it's probably long enough, almost long enough to be an LP. So this is Computer Controlled Acoustic Instruments Part 2 EP. And his second release since Zero. And it's sort of along the lines of Zero, like the whole aesthetic of it. But this is mostly beat-oriented stuff. And I like it a lot. Of course, it stays interesting. It's on Warp, of course. If you could see, it's still in the shrink, so it's kind of hard to see. But the lettering there. But yeah, Aphex Twin, his newest EP, came out probably a couple months ago now. But yeah, good stuff. And now for a sort of classic prog album, if you will. And that is the band Jackson Heights. And their debut album, King Progress. Now, Jackson Heights, what's his name? Member of the Nice, Lee Jackson. So he left the band The Nice, and this is his solo project. So what you have here is, again, early prog, sort of like The Nice, but maybe a bit more acoustic sounding. It's sort of a mixed bag of things, but not a bad album. What one song on here really stood out to me? Was it Last Time I Saw You? Yeah, 7-minute track, Last Time I Saw You. If you're gonna check out anything, check out that. This is a U.S. press on Mercury. So in probably like 1970, 71 maybe. Yeah. Jackson Heights, King Progress. Now another solo project from an English band. I've wanted this one for a while, never see it. I believe Four Men with Beards reissued it, but this is an original. Colin Bluntstone, with 1 year. Colin Bluntstone was, of course, in the Zombies. Again, a solo album, his first solo album. Rod Argent and what's his name? Chris White, also from the Zombies. Chris White might have produced this. Produced by Chris White and Rob Argent. So yeah, again, along the lines of the Zombies, maybe a little less psychedelic, but great pop music with like symphonic arrangements and a beautiful record, really excellent. And this is on an original on Epic. Yeah, a really nice copy of this. Was happy to score it. I believe I've had this for a little while now. I believe I bought it online for cheap. I just wanted it. I figured I'd come across it in the wild at some point, but it just never happened. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, I bought it online. So Colin Bluntstone, 1 year. Fantastic record. Cannonball Adderly. Yeah. Live at the Troubadour. The Black Messiah. So yeah, live album. Fusion. Definitely more jazz funk, jazz fusion based. And I love this period of his career. I have a few albums from around this time by Cannonball, and this one's excellent. Again, live album. Probably maybe his most fusion album. But yeah, what's this on? On Capitol. Original on Capitol. Great record. And speaking of Black Messiah, like a lot of people, I picked up D'Angelo and the Vanguard, Black Messiah, and yeah, fantastic modern soul record. Not much to say here. The first 2 tracks, especially, 1,000 Deaths, is fantastic. But the whole album, I bought it on CD when it came out because the CD came out like months before this finally did. But either way, great record. Glad to have it. Sorry, my house phone is ringing and I can't get it right now. Nucleus, the Canadian band Nucleus. Again, hard rock, proggy, very keyboard heavy. Again, Deep Purple-ish, just sort of in the sound, but I think it's better than that, in my opinion. I've heard people say they're not into this album. I really enjoyed this, actually. Yeah, not the English band Nucleus. This is sort of keyboard heavy. Lots of jamming, lots of organ-based jazzy jamming on here. These guys never really made it in the States, unfortunately, but still, it's a great record. And this was an original. It was still sealed when I bought it. At some point, it sold for 22 cents. Yeah, so it was 44, marked down to 22 cents. And yes, it was still sealed. Yeah, an original on mainstream. And I paid $20 for it. So, yeah, about the cost of the reissue of this that came out. Good stuff, Nucleus. Here's a compilation. These next 2 were also sealed when I bought them. Sealed originals. I had mentioned a while ago that Red Scroll got in a bunch of sealed stuff a couple times. And I bought a bunch of stuff from there. So there's still more, I believe, after this that I haven't shown yet. But Ice Cream and Suckers. So yeah, South African soul. So yeah, exactly that. A compilation of South African bands influenced by American soul bands, and it's fantastic. Not much to say about it other than that. Check it out. They definitely incorporate their sort of native sounds into it. I mean, some tracks more than others, but definitely some great stuff on here. And yeah, an original on Mercury, still sealed. I could not determine the year in which this came out because somebody had said that this came out way earlier than it did. I want to say this was probably like 66, maybe even 67 on Mercury. It was still sealed and original. Great record. Put this here. And this one as well, still sealed. And this one actually, same with Ice Cream and Suckers. I didn't buy it right away. I saw it there and I left it. I bought other things. And they didn't sell, and I eventually went back and bought them. This is Alzo and You Dine, or You Dine. So yeah, two guys, I want to say from Brooklyn. They were neighbors in Brooklyn, and they got together and started making music. So pop music, but again, catchy as hell, really well done. Think great harmonies on here. I don't know, think a slightly Latin tinged Bee Gees, early Bee Gees, you know. So sort of Latin folk rock, pop. It's a pop record, but definitely some folk rock and Latin elements going on here. And come on and join us. So again, another band that really didn't have much success during their time. As still obscure as this is, it's probably more well known now than it was. And yeah, this was an original also on Mercury. And I bought it still sealed. And this one sold for 29 cents at one point. So it's worth more now. So, but yeah. Great record though. Check out the track. Which one? I'm sorry. I Can't Believe It, I believe is the one. This is the whole album's really good. Again, at first it was like, it's very poppy, but with more listens, it's like, yeah, this is good. So, Alzo and You Dine. I missed out on this album a number of times, and I'm glad I finally got it. It wasn't cheap, but it's definitely not what it sometimes goes for online. And I bought this at Red Scroll. And I remember the record sitting there when it was still in print for a long time, and I just never bought it. I've been a fan of this guy since the 90s, you know, but I don't know, I sort of stopped following him for a long time. And then sort of went back, and I'm glad to finally get this. And this is an original press in near mint condition of Sea Change by Beck. Did not have this, you know, glad to finally get it. It came in used, and but it's in beautiful shape. So yeah, it is a first pressing, which I wasn't sure about, but I was able to just confirm online that it is an original. Fantastic record. I mean, one of his best. Still not my personal favorite. I mean, I know most Beck fans would probably disagree, but it is a really, really great record, and just beautiful. So, yeah, happy to get it, finally. An original, I bought this one a while ago, maybe like a year ago now, but not so recent vinyl find. But an original of Why by the pop group on Radar Records, UK press. The pop group, I've had the reissue of this for a while. Post-punk, I mean, in that really avant-garde blend of, you know, punk, dub, free jazz, just noise, experimental, but just really well done. I mean, these guys were just one of the best in the post-punk genre. 1979 on Radar. There's the other label. So, yeah. The pop group. Really happy to get this one as well. Moving on. Let's move through these quick. Slap Happy. So, yeah, the British avant pop band, Slap Happy. So, these guys were, they eventually, I think this is their actually second album. They eventually they made Desperate Straits with Henry Cow. And two members, I believe, eventually left Slap Happy and joined Henry Cow. But this is where Dagmar Krause came from Henry Cow. And Peter Blegved and Anthony Moore. I believe they just fused with Henry Cow. But anyway, very poppy. When I first heard this, I was actually taken aback at how poppy it was. It's definitely not as out there as Henry Cow, but it definitely has a sort of uneven sound to it. Like, not uneven, I don't mean bad. I mean, it's definitely like off-kilter, sort of strange music, but with a pop sensibility, you know? You got to check it out to know what I mean. But yeah, this is an original press on Virgin Records. Features members of Faust on here and Roger Wooten of Comus. So, yeah, I've had this for a little while now too, but glad to have it. The West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band Volume 2. So yeah, another one of these, an original, in beautiful shape. And I've heard people say that they think these albums they're classics now, you know, but people have called them sort of uneven. There's a whole story. I've talked about them before, about, what's it, Bob Markley? Markley, is it? Yeah. Who was heir to a Texas fortune, maybe, I don't know, came from a rich family, wanted to be in a rock band to get girls, and he met up with the Harris brothers, Sean Harris and Dan Harris. And they were the more musical, talented guys in this group. But either way, great records. All their albums are great. Psychedelic Rock, 1967 on reprise. In beautiful shape. Except that Terry Bateman wrote his or her name. Probably his name at the top on the back. Other than that, though, it's in really nice shape. And these records are hard to find in good shape. So, and another one, psychedelic classic, an original, St. John's Green. Yeah, really out there. Psychedelic rock from California. These guys were a Topanga Canyon band. And Kim Fowley, I heard him play and decided to produce them. And he has a really big hand in this. So real freak out, acid freak out, craziness going on here. So, and a beautiful cover. I mean, the covers are just, that's why a big reason why I love psychedelic records, psychedelic rock. Look at that cover. Funny enough, I ordered this online. I found it for a fantastic price, and it's in beautiful shape. The day after it came in, or maybe even that day, it might have been that day, I looked online and Red Scroll had posted that they got a copy in. But I think this one's in much better shape than that one was, but I don't know. An original on flick disc, which I'll show you the label. This one's in just pristine shape for what it is. Flick disc. But yeah, St. John's Green. Yeah, check it out. Moving on, I'll try and rush through these. So here's an American rock and opposition band, Cartoon. Found this locally. I've known about this for a little while, but found this at Red Scroll. Cartoon. These guys are from Arizona. So yeah, what you have is sort of an avant rock and opposition, Canterbury. I believe what they referred to themselves as left field. But yeah, really good out there stuff. Again, a great cover and an original. I don't know if this was a private press. 12-tone productions. It may have been. I don't know. But yeah, in really nice shape. Cartoon. Last few. Here's one I found at a record show. Probably, I don't know, last fall. Yeah, last fall. And that's an original of this. And apparently these are pretty hard to come by. I didn't realize. But an original press on Europa Records. Don Cherry and Latif Khan with Sungum Music. Sungum/music. Or music/Sungum. And Sungum is an Indian word, which I believe is the converging of two rivers, which is what I'm pretty sure that's what the word means. Now this was still in the shrink, pristine shape, except for the saw cut, but it's an original. Really happy to have this. Had it for a while now, since the fall. So great fusion, world fusion. Don Cherry, of course, plays trumpet and all his various instruments. Trumpet, keyboards, gong, bamboo flute, and Latif Khan plays tabla. So, yeah, really excellent stuff. Long time want this one, and I finally got a copy. Took a long time, but finally got a true first pressing of Troutmaster Replica. Long time want on the straight label, which I always found strange that it was on the straight label. Like, why not put it on the bizarre label? But whatever. So Frank Zappa's label, and of course, famously produced by Frank Zappa, Troutmaster Replica. Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band. And it has the insert, which is apparently pretty rare. I want to say maybe only first pressings had the insert. And there's Don himself right there, sort of, I don't know, probably 10 years old there, but love the album, love it. I've played it countless times, and I know it pretty well. And, I'm sure you guys know that record. I'll end with a couple jazz records. An original on Strata East, Cecil MCB with Matima. I don't know. I guess I should learn how to pronounce the words before but yeah, Cecil MCB, of course, legendary jazz bass player, still around, still doing his thing. And this is a very bass heavy jazz album, obviously. It opens up with an 11-minute bass solo. And that might sound intimidating, but it's still very interesting and listenable. And I believe at one point he's playing 2 double basses at once, which is incredible. Yeah, Cecil MCB on Strata East, Matima. Really nice original. There's the back. Yeah, fantastic record. And finally, Baird Lancaster with Exodus. I want to say it's from 1977, an original on Philly Jazz. Baird Lancaster's saxophone player, along the lines of, later Coltrane, Albert Ayler, that sort of thing. And free jazz, this is a very soul-heavy free jazz record, performed live at the WXPN Jazz Awards concert. And opens up with Something Children Do, which contains a lot of tiny instruments, bells and whistles and things. So, but overall, fantastic record. Glad to have this. So, there you go, guys. Those are my finds. Hopefully, this wasn't horribly painful. 32 minutes. That's short for me. Please leave comments, and thank you for watching. I'll try and be back soon. I have so much more to show. It's not even funny. Some fantastic stuff. So leave me comments. Thanks, guys.